Hello everyone, and welcome to another weekly masterclass in the course Discover Your Roots. This is masterclass number 4. Over here at today's lesson for masterclass number 4, and it's all about your genealogy assistant and how you can master artificial intelligence in your family history journeys. That's quite a mouthful, and it's probably going to be quite new and exciting for you in this journey you're on in building your family tree. I'm going to take you on another journey to help you locate and analyze historical records with artificial intelligence helping you along, specifically Chat GPT. You may have heard about that and are wanting to get to know it. I'll also look at how Chat GPT can help brainstorm and generate ideas for your research. And finally, how it can help you with organizing and presenting your genealogy research. So it's a packed agenda today. I will have time to demonstrate for you live how to create specific prompts in Chat GPT for your research. I'll also show you how you can modify your conversations with Chat GPT to fine-tune those prompts. Now, the reason that I'm suggesting you use Chat GPT as your genealogy research assistant is because it works. I have tested it out now for several months, and I am delighted with the responses that I get from my carefully engineered prompts. If you've not yet introduced yourself to this wonderful tool, you can get it by going to this address on your browser, openai.com/blog/chatgpt. You can find out more about it by using the menus at the top, or you can just go straight into trying out Chat GPT. Notice that there is a Chat GPT Plus, which is your subscription at about $20-something per month. That's an option for you so that you can use advanced features. Let's have a look at my Chat GPT, and I have a subscription and I'm using GPT-4. Keep in mind that this Chat GPT is an example of a large language model, and so it deals with text very well. So being able to give it questions and prompts and get your responses back in text in various formats is an ideal use of the tool. I began today in preparation for this masterclass by looking a little deeper into what ChatGPT could do for me as a genealogist and a researcher. And in one of my former conversations with ChatGPT, it told me something that I already knew, that starting your genealogy journey without a plan is like traveling without a map. I pasted it in place and asked the question, please describe what a research plan will look like and explain how to create one. For some of us, we do our research by the seat of our pants, not always well organized. So this response from ChatGPT made it quite clear. I need to set clear objectives. I need to gather my preliminary information. I need to identify research questions. Then prioritize those research questions and determine my research resources. It goes on to say that you should then develop a research timeline, organize your findings, and review and update your plan. Now, all of that is sensible And I was given that answer within seconds of posing the question. I like the end paragraph to say that a research plan is not set in stone, it's a living document. I find that that is absolutely true. I'm constantly going back to revise and update and modify as I make discoveries, encounter obstacles, and uncover new resources. But a research plan will help you navigate the genealogy journey more efficiently. So I was very pleased with that. So I went on to say, now please describe how Chat GPT can help me with steps 3, 5, and 7. And one of the beauties of Chat GPT is that, of course, it remembers and refers to its previous conversation with you in this iteration. I further asked it to use a tabular form to respond. So that made it nice and clear as to what my next steps might be. I liked the way it formulated the way in which Chat GPT itself could help me with those particular things that I am researching. I want to identify research questions. It says it can help me by brainstorming relevant research questions. Ideal. And similarly for 5 and 7. So what I have done now is I have created a prompt database for myself. I'm going to go over to that. It's a Google spreadsheet. So one of the things that you need now to do in getting ChatGPT to respond sensibly and constructively to your prompts is to prepare your prompts strategically and specifically before you begin. You're more likely to have success then. So here is the suggestion that it put in place for me to brainstorm relevant research questions by analysing my objectives and information I've collected. So here in this column, I've started to think about, all right, this is the detail that I have already for my ancestor. And my question will be, how do I locate the death record for him? So those two pieces of information I've simply copied to the clipboard using Control-C. So then headed back over to ChatGPT to ask the question. So I've put in place again the prompt that it provided and my information and the question, how do I locate the death record in the English parish of West Ham? It's important that you give contextual information to ChatGPT for a more specific and accurate answer. So here is the response, which really identified for me a set of steps and the type of research questions that I could consider in finding this elusive record for my great-grandfather. So a number of questions, 8 of them altogether, that I would now begin to think about. What is the exact date of Alfred Wright's death? What was his occupation and place of residence before his death? Who were his parents, and are there any records of their deaths in West Ham? And so on. So you'll see what it's doing. It's really being your research assistant, suggesting to you what your next steps might be. All the way through to number 8, which suggests, are there any online databases that hold death records or indexes for West Ham during the late 19th and early 20th century? So I could actually put that question in place to ChatGPT if I wasn't sure already. And it finishes up most of the responses with some summarized type of paragraph. And in this one, he says, you can start gathering more information on Alfred Wright and work towards locating his death record in the English parish of West Ham. So it's personalizing it because of the information that I have given to it. So knowing that I do have online databases that hold death records for West Ham, I can go across to those now and start my research. If you remember, we had 3 suggestions from Chat GPT. We've had a look at the first one. So let's continue. Number 5 in its suggestion was to determine the research resources and identify primary and secondary sources for the research questions. And Chat GPT can suggest potential resources. So with that in mind, I created another prompt. So heading back to my prompt record, here is that one. And I want to give it further information that I have a subscription to find my past and ancestry. How will I locate a death record in those 2 online databases? So the process is to copy both of those and bring that question back to Chat GPT. The third thing that we want it to be able to help us with is how to organize the records and the research that we've already done. How specifically could I do that? In my case, I am a user of Evernote, which I use to store the transcripts and images that I have found in Find My Past. Plus, I, like many other people, use computer folders for each family group to store my research results. I'm now going to bring that conversation starter back to Chat GPT and put it in place. Just checking if I need to add anything. So the prompt is, please offer suggestions on categorizing and structuring my findings efficiently, and then telling it that I use Evernote for transcripts and images, and I have my computer folders, etc. We might say, what else would you suggest for recording my research? Press enter and see what it does with that. It even comes back with that nice piece of feedback for me that using Evernote and computer folders are great ways to keep your genealogy research organized, and then goes on to give me additional suggestions. Some things that I need to be mindful of, for example, is the consistent naming conventions. It's suggesting naming your files, notes, and folders specifically so that you know who it's for, what it is, and where and when it was relating to. Genealogy software itself, of course, is where you can keep all your records safely in family trees like Find My Past. And then spreadsheets is another that you could use, so using Excel or going to Google Spreadsheet. And it goes on to talk about cloud source storage, creating source citations, which is another standard that we use in genealogy world. Also using timelines and maps. And then even suggestions for sharing your research online, such as with other people on your public databases who may be searching for the same person. And finally, something physical, a physical research notebook to jot down your ideas. And it suggests that incorporating these suggestions into your research workflow, you can efficiently organize and manage your genealogy findings. These are wonderful suggestions and done within seconds, better than I could produce without a little more time to present it in a format that was sensible and readable. So we've come quite a long way in using artificial intelligence. And in this masterclass, we've honed in on how you can get Chat GPT to help you with specifics about your research. Now, keep in mind that it can't do the research for you. It cannot look inside find my past account and look at the details that I have. It's not capable of doing that. Remember, it's a language model. So it responds to the knowledge, to your question, with the knowledge that it has in its own database, which has been given to it. And the knowledge is only up until the year 2021 when it was generated or was created. One last thing to give you today. I'm just going to share my screen one last time. Bear with me while I bring that up. And what's next includes the very next and new course in my academy called From Ancestry to Narrative. And if you'd like to look for that on the academy, go to my coachcaroleonline.thinkific.com courses to find Writing Family History with AI. I hope that you've enjoyed these masterclasses, and I hope to see you back in the academy real soon.